afternoon and welcome to Fast Horses Today. Today is Thursday. It's August 1st, so we turn the page on the month of July. Starting up here in August, a new week at Del Mar, and a nice race card here they put together for Thursday. And let's get started. I've got a couple pick fives. I want to do the first pick five and the late pick five today. And today I want to say that I feel Jerry Hollendorfer will be prominent today. So it might be King Jerry Day today at Del Mar. He's got three horses running throughout the card, and I feel like all three horses are live. So let's get to the first race here. First race is the start of the early pick five. And the first race is a maiden special weight at 5 furlongs on the grass. This is for 2-year-olds. So this is one of the first of Jerry Hollendorfer's horses that he's got today that I feel are live. That's the one horse who is Playscape. Now, Playscape is the first starter, has shown some nice works. Owned by OXO Equine, which I know in the past, these folks really supported King Jerry. And, they've got nice horses that they breed, and they pay a lot of money for horses. So they've got some nice stock. This horse is by Rowayton, and I'm not so familiar with the offspring of Rowayton. I know he's by Into Mischief, but it seems to me like this horse might show some nice speed and ability from the one hole Mike Smith rides. We certainly know that Mike Smith knows what he's doing on the turf course, so I give this horse a good shot. This is the one horse who is Playscape. I'm also going to put the 3 horse who is Naples Gal for Richard Mandella. Now, this is a big purchase here, $250,000 purchase, first starter for Richard Mandella. This horse looks to be working out pretty well, too, for her first start. She's by Warfront out of a Distorted Humor mare. Kazushi Kimura takes the mount. And Kimura, as we saw, rides pretty well for the Mandella barn, since he's been in California riding horses. So the 3 Naples Girl looks to be a factor. And then I'm going to go with the 8 horse, who is Sophistry. This is for Sam Walensky. Now, this horse comes from Gulfstream Park and has one race under her belt. She showed a pretty nice race at Gulfstream on the dirt, where she was drawn on the rail in a 5 furlong dirt sprint, took the lead, had a nice lead coming into the stretch, ended up getting beat by a horse. Sophistry was a favorite that day, got beat by the second choice, but I thought Sophistry ran pretty well. Gets Edwin Maldonado on the horse, so there's one way to go here from the 8 hole. And Sam Walensky brings a handful of horses here from Gulfstream. He got a little bit unlucky a couple days ago. He had a horse that seemed to be ready to go and ended up getting scratched because the horse got loose before the gate. So maybe this is redemption time for the Walensky barn. So I've got the 1, the 3, and the 8 here in the first race. All right, now let's move over to the second race. Second race is a 32,000 claimer, mile on the dirt. And I'm going to go with 2 horses here out of the Steve Sherman barn. He puts both horses in. They've both been running in Northern California. And what we're trying to do is trying to figure out where these Northern California horses fit within the scope of the Southern California racing. And I do feel like this 32,000 level, I think that Sherman placed these horses both pretty well. So I've got the 3 horse who was American Farmer at 3-1. Kazushi Kimura on this horse as well. So I think Kimura has some live, certainly has some live mounts today as well. So American Farmer, and then I'm also going to put the other Sherman train entry, which is Mobu. Now, Mobu is, this horse does have success over at Del Mar. I remember a few years back, I was lucky enough to catch this horse at a nice price on the Del Mar dirt. This horse was originally in the Sheriff's barn, and I know that Jerry Moss paid a lot of money for this horse as a Calbred. $360,000, I think, is what the purchase price was. But this horse has been running for a long time, running so long that Gary Stevens was actually the jock on this horse to break this horse's maiden a few years back. So tells you how long ago this horse has been running. But I think Mobu fits here as well. Coming off the form, this horse this horse has shown this year up in Northern California has 4 wins this year. So this horse is having a pretty nice year. And who knows? Maybe at the grand old age of 8 years old, this horse maybe is, showing why they paid so much money for him. So, I think he's a factor here. And the horse does like Del Mar, having a win on the dirt over at Del Mar. So I got the 6 Mobu. So that's the 3 and the 6. All right, now let's move over to the third race. The third race is a maiden 20. And this is the third leg of the first pick 5. And this is going to be the first leg of the pick 6. And, if you're playing that. But I got a single here in the third race in this maiden 20,000 race at a mile. I'm going to single the 3 horse who is I'm Still In It for Mark Glatt. and Antonio Frace, who takes the call. I just, it's not that this is a strong field, because it's really not, but it just looks to me like these Del Mar dirt races, these two-tune races, you've got to be pretty close up, and you seem to have a big advantage, and especially in these cheaper races that, horses don't usually come from way far out of it and don't really pass all that often. So if you're up front, you're close, it seems to be a big advantage coming into the stretch. So looks to me like this horse probably gets the lead, or is right there near the lead if someone else wants to get out and do a breakneck pace there. But I do like the last couple races this horse ran earlier at Santa Anita. She ran with Yellow Sundress, who was a nice winner at Santa Anita, who followed up with another win. And then the last time this horse ran, back in May, this horse finished second to Sabres, who Sabres was very ready to win that day. And Sabres also came to Del Mar and ran a pretty nice race last week, coming second in a claiming race similar to this. So Sabres, certainly has a little ability at this level. So I just think that I'm still in it at 5-2. Is the program favorite, Mark Glatt. Mark Glatt's been having a pretty good meeting here at Del Mar, and I think this horse will get a nice position, and, we're just going to see if this horse can beat a bad bunch. So I'm going to single, I'm still in it, that's the 3 horse. All right, and then also, I'll put a little win bet on this horse as well. I don't know what kind of price we're going to get, but, it might be worth a bit of a win bet. All right, now let's move over to the 4th race. 4th race is another 5 furlong grass sprint. This is for first level allowance horses. And, they fielded a nice competitive bunch of horses here where I don't have a strong opinion. I really don't. I'm going to take a shot here because I have that single. I've got 5 horses here. I'm going to take the outside horses. I've got the 5 horse, who is Just Nails. This horse shows some nice races on grass. Actually shows some nice races at Del Mar at 5 furlongs on the grass with a win. So Just Nails is 5-2 for Doug O'Neill. We'll put this horse in here. And I'll put the 6, who is Girl of My Dreams, also for Doug O'Neill. And Kyle Frey takes the ride. Now this horse has high speed. I mean, she could really get out there and motor in the beginning of a race. It's just a question of, does Girl of My Dreams want to last? Because she hasn't really lasted her last few. But as we've seen in these 5 furlong grass races at Del Mar, as well as even the longer races, the speed has been very, very good. So, it just seems to be about positioning. So that's why I'm going with the 5 horses here, because I expect Girl of My Dreams to get to the lead. If she does and gets an easy first fraction, it might be game over for these horses, because she's run with better. But, these races have been tough to handicap and tough to catch, to be very, very frank with you. So I've got the 6, Girl of My Dreams. I'm going to put the 7 horse, who is Make It Snow, the George Papadromo barn. Now this horse, I like this race. This horse ran last time over at Santa Anita on the down the hill course. Now, if you remember, towards the end of that Santa Anita meet, that course was hard and fast, and whoever got out fast really had an advantage. So this horse ran with Running with the Boys, and Running with the Boys just shot out to a huge lead, ended up winning in a sub 111, which, I mean, that's just absolutely flying. Like, I don't know if Running with the Boys' feet ever touched the ground. I think she was just, gliding. So, this horse ended up running second. So I just feel like that race, even though Running with the Boys did not come back and do much when she came back at Del Mar, this horse in this race does, I think, have a shot here at 8-1. Giovanni Franco takes the ride. Now, I know Franco was off some mounts over last weekend because he got tossed off a horse and I got a little shaken up. So he was off. So we're going to have to check that. Hopefully Franco's okay and he's riding this horse. I think he'll make a good account of himself and ride this horse well. Papa Padromo had a win, I think, on Sunday, so maybe his barn is going to start heating up soon. So we've got that horse. I'm going to also put the 8 horse, who is Gem Mine, 4-1, Richard Baltus, and Jose Valdivia. This horse, comes off a pretty long layoff, but, we've seen some of, in these turf sprints, horses that come off a layoff, they could come out and fire a good shot in their first one back, especially if the trainer's capable, which Baltus, can certainly get a horse ready. So this horse 4-1, certainly worth it. And then I'm not going to forget here, but we've got the 9 horse, who is Big Summer. Now, Big Summer draws in off the also eligible, and Big Summer comes out of the Carla Gaines barn. And Carla Gaines horses have really, been showing up at Del Mar. She's got a win out of 7 starts, a couple thirds. It looks like, a little different luck. Carla Gaines could have had a couple wins, but seems like her horses are ready to go. Big Summer's 5-1. Rispoli takes the call, and Rispoli's been just really good on this turf course this meet. She shows a pretty good record over at Del Mar, 3 starts, 3 seconds, and I believe those 3 seconds were all at 5 furlongs at Del Mar. So, not all the running lines show on the PPs, but I believe that was the case there. So this horse certainly likes the distance and could be a factor here. So again, we got the 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And now let's go over to the 5th race. Now, that was the 4th race. So that's going to be the start of the late pick 5. That 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We'll get to this in the recap when we go through the recap. But let's go to the 5th race. 5th race is a 6 furlong dirt race, 20,000 claimers, and they're non-winners of 3. So I've got 4 horses here that I want to put in. I think we'll cover this and advance the ticket. Well, I'm hoping to cap off that first ticket and it would advance the second ticket. So I've got the first horse would be the 3, Sing a Happy Song for Andy Mathis. Now, Andy Mathis brings this horse down from Golden Gate. This horse has been running in starter allowance races, which maybe on paper you think might be better than this 20,000. In my opinion, I feel like they're probably about the same. I'm putting Sing a Happy Song here because Sing a Happy Song has high speed. And, this is going to be her first dirt start. So we're going to see if maybe she likes the dirt. And, as we've also seen in some of the Del Mar dirt races in the early part of the meet, is that the horse that can get to the rail on these dirt sprints, seems to have an advantage. So this horse certainly looks to be on top. Maldonado on the horse. So we're going to see if this horse might be good enough. If this horse is not good enough, then I've also got the 5, who is Slam Diego. Slam Diego for Dean Pedersen. Now, Slam Diego has done well at Del Mar. Seems to like the sea air. Has a couple wins over at Del Mar. That's the lifetime. His lifetime wins are at Del Mar. Usually running in longer. So this is a little shorter race. We're going to see if this horse might want to run short. What's interesting to me is they're using the waiver claim here. So they're not putting this horse in for the 20,000 tag. So maybe they want a free roll here. Maybe win a race and see what they've got. So I'm going to put the 5, Slam Diego. I'm going to put the 7 horse, who is Smart Kitten. Now, Smart Kitten is 10-1 in the program. This horse looks to be bred turf, but I think that dirt, could be something here. This horse had run twice in the dirt. Her first 2 times on dirt were over at the Los Al meet, and I thought she made a good account of herself in both of those races. Diego Herrera was on the horse twice, so he knows her. And I'm going to put Smart Kitten here, the 7 horse at 10-1, looking for a price here to get this pick 3, hopefully cash the first one and get the second one advanced. Then I'm going to also put the 11 horse, who is Active Serendipity. Now this is for Gennaro Vallejo. Now this horse doesn't show much in the record the last couple years, but I just kind of see maybe a long shot possibly in this race, and if the speed falls apart, you might see horses circling like the 11. Valdivia certainly knows how to win races. He's won a lot in his career. Doesn't win as often now in California, but certainly knows what to do on a horse. He's been on this horse the last couple times in Cal allowance races over at Los Al. So this is a dip in class, and like I said, if the speed falls apart, and horses are circling and closing, the 11 will be there. So that's the 3, 5, 7, 11. All right, now let's go over to the 6th race. The 6th race is a turf race, 1.16 on the turf. So 2 turns coming out of that chute. And it is a $32,000 claimer for non-winner of 2. So, just a condition race that you've got horses that are just probably connections are trying to figure out where these horses fit and what do they want to do. So this is one of the second of 3 horses Hollendorfer has, who I feel has a live shot, is the 4 horse Vorpal. Now Hollendorfer gets this horse from John Sadler, and this horse has been running over at Santa Anita in some even races, some similar races, and Hollendorfer probably took hold of this horse back in May from Sadler, and has been training this horse, getting ready for Del Mar, because this is where Hollendorfer does run horses. So he's got Kazushi Kimura on the horse. Kimura has certainly run some nice races on the turf. 8-1, Vorpal looks to be an interesting price here. I'm also going to put the 5 horse, who is Pioneer Prince, 5-2. This is the program favorite, Richard Mandela. Now this is a big purchase price that just didn't go right. $250,000 for this horse, and they're running the horse for 32. So this horse, certainly didn't meet expectations. Had to go to 50,000 claimers to break the maiden. Has been running in starter allowance races, and just kind of running some even races here. Mike Smith keeps the horse, which we know Smith could run pretty well on the turf. And, this is a weak field, so, this horse certainly figures 5-2. I'm going to put the 8 horse, who is Tribal. Now, Tribal comes out of the Mandella barn, was claimed from Mandella by John Sadler. And, this horse had been running in special weights, and, Mandella gave up on the horse for 50, and probably didn't expect Sadler to claim him. But, Sadler, this almost feels like a roll of the dice to me. Sadler claims this horse for 50, now runs the horse for 32. Now, he claimed the horse for his main farm, Hronis Racing. Now, we certainly don't, shed any tears for Hronis Racing. They've won a lot of money, and they had Flightline, in their ownership there, so they certainly, can afford this. But, maybe they just got realistic, said, hey, where can we run this horse? Put him for 32. If we win, great. Horse gets claimed. We're not worried about it. We're out, or mostly out. So I've got the 4, the 5, and the 8 in this race. All right, now let's go to the second to the last race of the day, and that would be the 7th race. This is a Cal Allowance race, mile on the dirt, and it's for fillies and mares. And I've got 2 horses here, and I also have a win bet that I want to make. I've got the 2 horse, who is Loretta Lynn for Phil D'Amato. Now, she's taking on her elders. Loretta Lynn's a 3-year-old taking on older. And, she fits here. She's running some nice races, running some stake races. She ran up against Grand Slam Smile and Safa, who are 2 of the nicer 3-year-olds in the Cal ranks here in California. So she ran 3rd with them, ran a respectable race in the Malaire. And, takes on her olders here. She's 9-5. I just wonder if she's, good enough to be such a short priced her. So I'm going to put her in, but I'm also going to put in Smiling Lady. I'm going to make a win bet on Smiling Lady. Smiling Lady comes in for Andy Mathis. Now, Smiling Lady, shows a lot of high speed, and she looks pretty sharp lately. And, Ayuso takes the call. And, as we've seen in the past, Andy Mathis has been probably the best trainer that brings horses down from Northern California, meaning he's had probably the best success lately. Where a lot of other connections that brought horses down haven't done much, but Mathis has been the guy who has come and won races bringing the horses to Del Mar. So I feel that Mathis caught a good field here to his liking with, Smiling Lady being a 4-year-old running against a couple youngers. And, she has shown some couple nice races here this year. Ran at Golden Gate in a race which was coming off a long layoff. Probably ran a little bit too much in the beginning of the race and just kind of got tired. Probably looked like the horse needed to race. Then they sent the horse over to Pleasanton, so she ran on the dirt there. And she ran an exceptional race there. Just took the lead and really didn't even break out too well. Kind of stumbled, but still ended up getting that lead and going. So I think that, Ayuso certainly knows what to do with a horse like that. And I think that Mathis was very fortunate here to catch this field of Calbreds and can win this race. So I've got the win bet on the 3 horse here, and I've got the 2 and the 3 for pick 5 purposes. All right, now let's go to the last race of the day. Last race of the day is the 8th race. This is a 16,000 claimer, starter allowance, I should say. And this is a mile on the grass. And this, I have a single here as well in this race. And that would be Jerry Hollendorfer's horse. That was the 3 horse. That is Red Cross Knight. Now, this horse has just been really sharp. If you watch film on this horse is just really in good shape and been running some nice races over at Santa Anita on their turf course, and then ran at Los Al on the dirt in an open allowance race and ran really well in that race too. But this race is on the turf, so she looks like she's got one way to go, or I should say he has one way to go from the 3 hole. 2-1 in the program. Edwin Maldonado keeps the ride. He's been on this horse. And, this horse is now with Hollendorfer. Had gotten this horse from Sadler, which, we know the reason is way back when Santa Anita, got rid of Jerry Hollendorfer out of training several years ago. And I don't know, what kind of decision that was, but certainly it changed the scope of a lot of things. But Hollendorfer does train at Los Al and does train at Del Mar, and this horse looks to be extremely live to me and is a single in this race. That's the 3 Red Cross Knight. That's the horse that I'm going to try to cap off this pick 5 and try to hit this late pick 5 here. And also make a win bet on this horse. I don't know what kind of price we're going to get, but you know what? Let's hope we get a winner. All right, so let's recap here this card here at Del Mar. So at Del Mar, I've got 2 pick 5s. I got the early pick 5, which starts in the first race. That's the 1-3-8 with 3-6 with the 3. And that's in the third race. The 3 is single and a win bet on that 3. With the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, with the 3, 5, 7, and 11. And that's a $60 ticket for the early pick 5. Now let's go to the late pick 5, which starts in the 4th race. Now, 4th race, the late pick 5 goes as follows. We've got the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 with the 3, 5, 7, 11 with the 4, 5, 8 with the 2, 3, and we've got the win bet on the 3 in the 7th race. And then the final leg of the pick 5 in the end of the day is that single of the 3, Red Cross Knight for Jerry Hollendorf. We'll make a little bet on that one as well. So that ticket, that late pick 5 ticket is also $60. So in total, for 2 pick 5s, it's $120 is what I'm going to play. If that's your speed, feel free. You can add or subtract. If you want to play pick 3s or pick 4s within this, you got to do what feels comfortable. But today I'm going to watch Jerry Hollendorf. I think he's very live. And, hope he is, because then it'll be very nice for, my tickets. So, as always, I wish you the best of luck. Let's get some good trips, because good trips are imperative, especially at a place like Del Mar. Not making excuses for some of my poor picks, but have not had good trips, especially on the turf. So, hoping to turn that around today and this week and for the rest of the meet. And let's see some good, safe racing at Del Mar. So, as always, appreciate if you'd hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything, just gets you on the queue so you have new content when it comes through. Like, dislike, make some comments. Let's start up a discussion. Thank you very much.